Yes, it's time for the big question in which we tackle a major news story of the day. And Saturday night used to be date night as people of all ages took their other halves out for an evening, maybe some dinner, a movie, a spot of dancing. What happened to those days? We now live in a world of online dating, swiping left or right on your phone, and quick hookups. The art of seduction seems to be on the way out. Or is that a misapprehension? That's tonight's big question. Is romance dead? I'm delighted to be joined by Kezia Noble, a dating and relationship expert, and the comedian and relationship veteran, Lewis Schaefer. Lewis, I'll come to you. I'll come to you very shortly, Lewis, but let me ask you, Kezia, because you are the professional. Is romance dead?
If you asked me this a year ago, I would have said yes, but I'm seeing a revival in romance. So I have a lot of students that come to me, a lot of guys who have just given up with dating apps. We reached peak saturation in 2020 and 2021, and they're now looking for a way to meet women that is not at the mercy of an algorithm, and it's more organic. And women, my female friends, are also ditching their dating apps. Everyone is just experiencing like some kind of like hangover from dating apps. So I think there is definitely a revival.
I'm glad to hear that. Lewis Schaefer, you're an old romantic, aren't you?
No, I was an old romantic. I'm not a romantic anymore. I don't think changing dating apps will have anything to do with it. Is that it's too dangerous to date women today. I mean, it's just too dangerous. It's the accusations, the animosity, the acrimony, the divorce. I mean, even with a beautiful woman here, I mean, it's not worth getting involved.
Lewis, I think you're telling us your life story there. You've revealed a lot in that short answer. What do you understand romance to be, Lewis? How would you define romance?
Well, I think romance from a woman's point of view isn't the same as from a man's point of view. I think from a woman's point of view, it's like candy and prizes. It's like a man going up to her and just sort of wooing her and making her love him. I don't think that can exist nowadays. I think women are no longer interested in men doing that. They have their own things, unless a man has a lot of things.
I see. So you don't think, Lewis, that women need men anymore?
I don't think that they do. I think you hit the nail on the head, basically. And our society benefits from having divorce. It benefits from having split families. It benefits economically. It doesn't help the children and it doesn't help the people who are involved, but the economy is much richer. And so women work and they have enough money. Maybe they don't have as much money as men do if they get a divorce, but they have enough money to live.
Kezia, do you agree with what Lewis has to say there? It all sounds very depressing.
I agree with some of what he said, but going back to the original question, is romance dead? You have to look at it as a lot of people, as I said, they're done with this kind of like easy hookups. I mean, hookups are fun, but there's so many men and women that want actually that whole kind of like, courting, dining, roses, taking her for dinner. Both men and women miss that because, as we all know, the catch, is so much better if we've had to work for it a little bit. So I think it's something for both men and women. I am seeing my students that are coming to me have said, they want to go back to that. And they approach women in the street, they approach women in bars, and they never get, this kind of like really bad reaction. I think a lot of it is like just fake news. It's in the media saying that women react this way to men. If you approach a woman with confidence and certainty and you're polite, then she's going to, the worst that she's going to say is, I'm not interested, and that's it.
And Kezia, these dating apps, some of my viewers might not know, but you can go on your phone, you flick through a load of faces, there's one you like, you say yes, and an hour later you're in bed together. You mentioned that some of your clients have gone off that. Do those apps ever lead to lasting love?
Yes, they do, but it's getting less and less. because a lot of people, I mean, we're going to be honest here, don't look like their photographs. They don't, they might be able to be very good at texting and messaging, and they have this really well-constructed bio. But in reality, they don't know how to talk to a woman, or the woman doesn't know how to talk, to a man. So I think both parties are let down when they see the woman or the man that they're going to date, that they're on the date with, because men are always shorter in real life and women are always bigger in real life. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm hearing. So even if the woman, let's say the guy meets a woman and she's good looking, she's a good looking girl, she'll never be as good looking as her picture, unfortunately, because of filters and so on. So it's always going to be that kind of like, little bit of a letdown. And I think people are just done with that now. This is what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm hearing from my female friends who are using dating apps. They are done.
Isn't it good, knowing male human nature, Kezia, isn't it good to make men wait a little bit? There was that famous book a few years ago called The Game, and I think it explained to women in great detail how you've got to keep the guy hungry.
Of course, I love that book. It's a great book. And yes, men love the thrill of the chase. They love it. And I think women are realizing that now. Like, if they give it up too easily, no judgment here, but if they are giving it up too easily, then the guy's kind of like, oh, okay, I'm done. I've had my fun and I'm going to move on. And, all this girl power and stuff like that, I think that it's kind of like now it's reached a point where a lot of women are just like unhappy, and they want to get into a relationship with somebody, and just like casual hookups. There are some rare occasions when it does work out and a relationship happens as a result, but usually it's not. Like, men will just they'll have their way and thank you, goodbye, who's next on the dating app.
Kezia, I don't want to be sexist. I try to consider myself a feminist, but I just wonder whether these dating apps for the quick hookups are better for men than women. Is that an unfair generalization?
Look, they are on the whole probably better for men because, male nature, they'd rather have no strings attached kind of hookups. However, I am seeing a lot of men saying, no, I'm not happy with this anymore. It's like, they're getting to a point where it's kind of like, it's meaningless. They want a relationship with a woman and they just know they're not going to get it from these dating apps as much. And the best way to meet a woman is organically, is to go up to her, approach her in a coffee shop, in a bookshop. Women want that story. They want to go back to their girlfriends and say, I met this guy in a coffee shop. He just approached me. People are so bored of those stories of, I met him through an algorithm, or I met him when I was just scrolling through a dating app.
Well, the worst story I heard about Tinder, which is one of those apps where you can meet people in your area, and it was a woman who, she went to bed with this guy, and after they'd finished, she got out of the bed. He was immediately back on his phone looking for the next date, right? Moments after coitus. Listen, a bit of Latin, you're welcome. That education wasn't wasted. Louis Schaefer, if it's not too personal a question, are you single?
I don't think...
Maybe.
It depends who's making me the offer. Because he is making me an offer, I think I might be available. Well, I think she's lovely, but I think she's totally wrong about this. And I think you can't ask a woman opinion about this. These dating apps are horrific for everyone. They're really bad for men because most men don't get a look in because women hate the way men look. They just hate the way men look unless the guy is unbelievably good looking. And then they'll go for the guy. But most guys do not get a chance. And the ones who do get a chance, the reason why, like the story that you said on Tinder, where the guy's going out with looking for somebody else right after coitus, right, is because he's a Chad, as we call it in the industry, right? Because he's a Chad. He's like, he's a top 10% guy. People like Louis Schaefer don't. Maybe I've got a chance now in the older man category. The fact is that relationships are kaput nowadays. There's no hope for relationships. It's the death of love. Is that divorce is so prevalent. Men are losing their houses like crazy. The accusations are unbelievable. And so they just figure there's no hope in getting into a relationship. I might as well stay away.
Well, Lewis, I'm going to disagree with you because I think you are London's most eligible bachelor, if not Britain's, okay? You've got an incredible sense of humour. You're a world-class comedian. You're, of course, the star of the hit late-night newspaper review show Headliners. You're the king of the comedy circuit. You came from Caroline's Comedy Club in New York. Here you are in England. You got money. You got looks.
It's all downhill.
So listen, let's get you out there to all the women watching. Just take a few things. What is your height?
I mean, should a man even give away that kind of information? Isn't that like too personal? You don't ask a woman her weight. I'm 5'10".
You're a bit of a shorty, aren't you? You're a bit of a shorty.
No, that's
Tom Cruise.
1 inch. No, you ask Kazia. No. That's 1 inch above normal.
All right. Well, look, you're less than 6 foot, but you're stocky. What are your hobbies?
No, I am not. I am not stocky. I'm not stocky. I weigh 81.3 kilograms. I take this is horrible.
What is your weight? What is your mass?
I'm not stocky.
What is your weight?
What are you saying?
My weight
is 81.3 kilograms.
81.3 kilograms. That's about 11.5 stone. Okay. And what star sign? What star sign are you?
Well, I'm flexible on that. It depends on what the girl is looking for.
Do you have a party trick? Can you do anything with your body or your mind?
I think my party trick is at my age, I'm still alive and kicking. And I think that's a good thing. I don't want to say that I've got a girlfriend because it will hurt my odds with other women.
I challenge the narrative that love is dead. I challenge the narrative that you can't be blissfully happy with the next Mrs. Schaefer. Last question, any hobbies?
Any hobbies? Basically worrying. I'm a New York Jew. I mean, if you like that kind, you'd like me. I'm very New Yorky.
I notice you're at home. It says Lewis Schaefer behind you. How many parts of the house have got your name on the wall?
I need to be reminded. I'm not. I know you think that I'm at home. I'm in Kuala Lumpur right now. I just flew in from Hobart, Tasmania, on my way to Nairobi. Okay, so I'm at home.
Kezia, you get the last word. I think that Lewis is underselling himself. I don't think love is dead, is it?
It's not, no. But again, if you'd asked me this last year, I would have given you a different answer. But from my students, I am seeing a big shift now. And I don't think we're quite there yet, but there is definitely a revival.
Brilliant. Well, you can find Lewis on Tinder. He's at BigBoy71. There you go. And there's some quite strong images on there. Thanks to relationships and dating expert Kezia Noble and top comedian and star of Headliners, Lewis Schaefer.